First shot saved by Stover. Centering pass to score! They take a 1-0 lead.
Welcome on into the Swoop-Around, the non-copyrightable version of ESPN's hit show Around the Horn. And I'm joined by some very talented people right here. We're going to start off with BGSU. I'm running out of things to describe you as, Ben. Volleyball, hockey, and softball beat. You got a lot on your plate. We got Ben Korak.
Yeah, a lot of fun doing all these things. Excited to talk about some BG athletics today.
And we've got everybody's boss, Lucas Kleinmeyer. Everybody here's boss, that is, at the Falcon Media Sports Network. How you doing, Lucas?
I'm doing great. Happy to be a part of this. Happy to debate my fellow peers here. Let's get going.
Debate and peers, those are very advanced words. Let's go over to Holden Ruck now and Tyler Kavelitz. Holden, you are our Zig Zone host. You do a lot of the radio stuff, and you are not shy with your takes. Is that right, Holden?
Oh, I'm not shy at all, and I'm really ready to get into it and let them know why they're wrong.
And then we've got Mr. I'm Always Right himself, Tyler Kavelitz. Second next to, you guys are roommates. You guys work together. Lucas, Tyler, how you doing here today?
You know, I have the feeling that everybody's going to be out attacking me today, so I have to defend myself. So that's going to be my goal here.
It's not a good mentality to have. Not a good mentality to have, but okay.
All right, well, if you don't know how the Swoop-Around works, or Around the Horn, if you will, basically we're going to be asking 5 different questions. Everybody gets 1 minute to answer. I'm going to tally up their points. Not going to tell them until the end of their talking. And then they're going to get a minute to debate. I can add and subtract points. All the power goes to me. Your host for this, I'm Chaz McNeil. Now let's get into it. Question number 1, we're going to start off with Ben. The question is, which BGSU head coach is on the hottest seat for 2025-2026?
Yeah, boys, I don't know if there's any other answer besides Fred Schmiel from BGSU women's basketball. He's been here 2 seasons, coming in for Robin Fralick, came in from South Carolina, a lot of expectations for him. The last 2 seasons, he was projected to be a number 4 team in the coaches poll, and then he finished below that both years. Cannot beat Buffalo. He's 0-5 against Buffalo. He's 1-2 against Toledo, 1-3 against Kent State. He just has not done too much the last 2 years. And looking forward to next year, he's bringing back Paige Kohler, who's a pretty good player. Jenna Donahue, who's a pretty good player, but he's losing 3 of his starters. And I don't know what to expect next year. He's got to make a splash in the MAC, and he's going to have less of a talented team to do it, I'd say.
Yeah, you got to keep ripping it. We still got time on the board. Keep going.
Still Fred Schmiel. Even last year to this year, only had 2 extra wins in the regular season, 1 extra win in the MAC from last year to this year. And I thought they had a better roster this year. I thought Amy Velasco, Lexi Fleming, and Paige Kohler, all as guards. Erica Porter seemed to take a step forward.
And that will be time. Sorry, Ben. I shouldn't have let you keep going as you immediately run out of time.
Yeah,
Ben, right now you got 5 points.
5 points.
I'm liking what you got. Now, next up, let's see what you got, Holden.
Well, I got to tell you, I think that Ben is absolutely on the money, but there's a reason that he didn't really talk about with Fred Schmiel. And I think it's quite simple. It's not as much about Schmiel as it is about the other coaches at BGSU. Schmiel's in this really interesting position where he's not a first-year head coach, but he hasn't established success either. Tanner Barton for swim and dive, first year. Brittany Emmons, first year. Michelle Gardner for softball, first year. And then you've got the other side of the coin. You've got the seasoned coaches. You've got Lou Snelling with track and field, who just won a championship. Eric Nichols, whose resume speaks for itself. Del Piombo, who's going to be in her first year for volleyball and has been a part of several championship teams. It's got to be Schmiel. None of the seats are really that hot in Bowling Green for 25-26. If we were talking a little longer frame of reference, maybe you could change it up. But, Schmiel just hasn't proven it yet, and it's not his first year.
And I guess when a lot of the seats are pretty cold, you got to find a hot seat. Keep going. We got time.
I think you look at the Buffalo resume, you look at the inability to win in the tournament so far, and he's had arguably more continuity than his counterpart from Matt Simon.
Holden, I really liked where you were going, but you got to learn to use the whole clock. We got a whole minute here. You only get 4 points. Next up, let's hear what you got, Lucas, as you are the beat for women's basketball.
Look, I understand why you would think Fred Schmiel is on the hot seat, and I think you guys all made valid points. What Holden said, I do believe, is correct. Derek Vandermeer, our athletic director, there's not a lot of hot seats. He's still brand new here. There's a lot of new coaches. I'm going Chris Fox. I'm going Chris Fox for women's soccer, and the reason why I'm going Chris Fox for women's soccer, while he's only been here for just a season, It just wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough for performance-wise. It wasn't good enough results-based, but the style of play they played was not good enough, and it's not what we're used to seeing for BJC women's soccer. You look at the coaches before them, Jimmy Walker, Matt Fannin. Those coaches won MAC championships. They didn't just win the MAC regular season and tournament. They dominated. They absolutely dominated from the first conference game to the last. If you look at the games this year, you look at the 0-0 tie to Eastern Michigan, the 3-0 loss at home to Ohio Bobcats, it wasn't good. The results are not good enough, but the way they played made that a whole lot worse. I think it's Chris Fox. While, yes, first season, I get it. Shamil was in his second season. I totally understand. And while both coaches are
That's
in
the
hot
buzzer.
seat, whatever, Chaz.
Well, you know what? You know what's funny? I gave you 6 points because you were doing a really good job, and you used the whole clock. -2, though. You're gonna get 4 because you just chirped at me. Give him 4. Let's hear what you got. Let's hear what you got. Tyler, rounding us out.
First of all, I don't think it can be Chris Fox. I think you can't do it after one season. He needs more time to build a program. I agree that it is Fred Shamil, and I think something that we're leaving out here is the program that is BGSU women's basketball. Are we forgetting that this is the most prestigious women's basketball program in all of the MAC? They have the most MAC tournament championships out of any team in the conference, and he took over that job. Don't forget, after Robin Freilich left for Michigan State, after they made a Fab 4 WNIT run, and he's come nowhere near that success. His counterpart, Todd Simon, made the MAC tournament in both years and has gotten a MAC tournament win. That's something Shamil cannot hang his hat on. I told you this, Lucas. You can attest to this as the women's basketball beat before the season. As the men's basketball beat, I thought the women's was going to have a better season than the men's. They dropped a spot in the conference standings. They didn't really go out there and take a hold of one of the top teams in the MAC. They did nothing but really regress in those areas. They had an opportunity to solidify themselves as a powerhouse in this conference, and were unable to do so. I think Shamil goes in the hot
That is the
seat next
buzzer,
year.
Tyler. You did a good job. I'm going to add a point for with the buzzer. You matched up really well. You were at 5 points, and then you mentioned men's basketball, saying that women's basketball underperformed. I took 3 away from you.
Terrible idea
And
to
you
give
know what?
Chaz
You have
this
3
role.
points right
Terrible
now, and
idea.
that's fine. That's fine. So that leads us into the debate where Lucas, you have 4. Tyler, you have 3. Ben, you are going to have 5. And Lucas, you have 4. Let's hear some debates, guys. All-out warfare.
Okay, listen, you guys all made good points with Shamil, and I don't think what you said was wrong. But to say that he didn't make any sort of progress from this year
What
last
progress
year
did
is
he make?
wrong. He beat Kent State and he beat Toledo. He had a better MAC record this year than last year and
But
a
he
better
dropped in
overall
conference
record.
standings
And
because
I'm not done. I'm not done.
opponents
I'm not
grew more
done.
than he did.
I'm not done.
He did
And
not
beat an
outgrow the
SEC
opponents that
team.
went ahead of him now.
No, he did not. He did not.
Exactly,
But you
and
can't
that's why
say
he's
it
going on
was
the
a
hot seat.
complete failure.
Toledo also beat
Listen.
him. Didn't sway.
Yes,
But then
he
how could
still-
you say? But how could
Lucas,
you say that
Lucas.
Chris Fox is on the hot seat after one season?
I
Lucas
literally
hasn't had
started
some
what
players
I
yet.
was saying by
Lucas,
saying none of these coaches are in the hot
The
seat.
top 4 teams
If I
in
had
the
to
MAC,
pick
does he
someone.
have,
committal,
does he
that's
have
the
a
thing.
winning record against one of the top 4 teams in the MAC?
No,
Why is he not on the hot seat?
because he's in his second year.
But
Fox is in his
Chris
first.
Fox is going
I
into his
just
second.
said none of these coaches are on the hot seat, but we. Oh my
Which is the
gosh.
hottest then, though?
Chris Fox.
How?
It's not.
How if you're
Because
using years?
the program
but no,
is
you're
used to-
using years for Shamil, but you're going to say that doesn't
And the
apply to
programs
Chris
are
Fox?
both used to success. That's the whole point.
I'm different.
And that's it. That's it. Don't try
I'm
to
different.
appeal to me. Okay, so I got some news. Lucas, you have 6 points. I ended up giving you 1 extra point because I just love the passion.
He gets a point for that?
Tyler, you got a point for the passion. Ben, I took a point away from you because you looked like you were snoozing for half of that, and then you decided to chirp up. But then I give you a point back because I do love antagonizing Tyler. And then wrapping up,
See what I
Holden,
said? Everyone's
you
attacking
have
me.
got 6. So Ben, you don't move at all. Ben, you keep 5. Holden, you've got 6. Tyler, you've got 4. Lucas, you have 6. Let's go into question number 2. We're going to start off with you, Holden. And what are the realistic expectations for Eddie George in his first year with BGSU football?
It's a splashy hire. It's a lot of national attention for the university, which is huge. You can't be worse than last year. You need to make a bowl game. I want to see you win a bowl game. Scott Loeffler went 0-3 in bowl games in our last 3 seasons here. I think you can win it. I know there's a lot of question marks. You don't have, quarterbacks, not a guaranteed thing with the departure of Bazelak, Camden North transferring out. Don't know exactly what's going to go on there, but you've got a guy who rebuilt a program at Tennessee State from, the ground up, basically. New facilities in his time there. I mean, that's a pretty transformational rebuild that he did there. And, we're not in a worse spot here for his start of his tenure than they were at Tennessee State. I don't think it's unrealistic at all to win a bowl game. And I'll add, the non-conference schedule is very, very favorable. Cincinnati and Louisville are not exactly Power 4 powerhouses as far as the non-conference goes. Either of those games could be a game that you steal on the road, and you close the season with the new MAC edition of UMass as well. There's so many winnable games. The rest of the MAC hasn't outgrown you. It's absolutely realistic to think they can at least get their 6 wins and get to a bowl game, and I want to see them win one.
Perfect timing, by the way. You hear that buzzer. You are out of time. Holden, you were at 5. I took one away because Louisville and Cincinnati, I think they match up really well against BG. I will say this, though, 2 points for timeliness. So that's going to end up giving you 6 points. You're at 12 right now. Next up, let's hear from Ben. Ben, you were caught snoozing before. Let's see if you can make some noise now.
I think Holden's off his wagon just a little bit here. I broke it down by games. 1-4 in non-conference. That's what I think they should go. Cincinnati, Liberty, and Louisville, let's be honest, they're losses. I mean, it's really tough in non-conference schedule. I think those are losses that they're going to take. Chalk them up. That you play 4 of the bottom 5 teams that were finished bottom 5 in 2024, including a 2-win UMass team that essentially played a MAC schedule. So those are so many winnable games that you have. I think a successful season should be making it to a bowl game. I don't think necessarily winning a bowl game in your first year, considering you're losing a lot of defensive players, losing a lot of offensive players to the draft and to seniors and graduation and things like that, losing a couple to transfers. I think Eddie George is going to bring a lot into this program for the years to come. I really find it hard to believe that it's going to be just one season. I find it hard to believe that he's going to get the proper recruits in, everything like that. I think 4, 5, 6 wins would be a very successful season for Eddie George. That's probably what I'm expecting out of him. And yeah, I just think it stems from the personnel.
And you know what? Did a good job, timeliness there. I'm going to also give you 6 points. I think you were a lot more rational with this one. And that's coming from a guy who didn't know who Eddie George was when he got hired. So,
that's not true.
I'm sure it isn't.
True.
Okay, let's hear Tyler now. Tyler, what do you got?
I'm not too off from you, Ben. I think results-wise on the field, I think you're looking at 4, 5, 6 wins. Get somewhere around that number. Teeter around bowl eligibility. I don't know if you can expect a bowl appearance in this first season because, like you said, Holden, something to note out there is you talked about Tennessee State. That was a rebuild. It took him time to build that up. Something more important, I think, to look at with this, he's calling it a tweak here at BG, not a rebuild, is can he start to build that fence around Ohio with recruiting? I think that's going to be huge for Eddie George in this first season. That's something that Loeffler didn't fully do. I also think he's being paid, I believe, according to Reese Patricus' article on bgfalconmedia.com, about $100,000 this year for marketing and being out there in the public, getting recognition of Bowling Green. That's a big reason why you hire Eddie George, is to bring attention to this program. I think those 2 things on top of decent on-field success are going to be critical and crucial for him in year 1.
That was pretty good. You were short on time there by about 3 or 4 seconds. There's the buzzer, and look at that. You were short. Taking a point away.
I left it for you to fill in.
Appealing to the host, I'm going to add 2 points to that. So you know what? So you had 2?
Teamwork, Chad.
You had 2, then you plugged Falcon Media. I took 1 away, you had 1. Then I added 2 more, and then I added 2 more. So you're at 5. You're at 9 points right now.
Plugging Falcon Media?
Yes.
Quick math, man.
Hey, okay, now let's.
Well, now that I already did it, he's not going to be as big.
All right, who's the host? Who's the host? Okay, let's hear from Lucas. Lucas, what do you got?
Now, Ben and Tyler are spot on, in my opinion. I'm definitely more on their wavelength. I think Holden, you're expecting a little bit too much from Eddie George in his first season. 4, 5, 6 wins is where I'm at in his first year. I think if he can aim for just about a 500 record in his first season, I think would be a success because the amount of turnover this roster has, guys. I mean, you talked about a little bit, Tyler. Defensively, how many players returning next year play a defensive snap? It's not very many. A lot of those players either graduated, transferred, or they're just gone. And you look at offensively, Harold Fant Jr. had a spectacular season, as we all know. He's obviously going to the NFL. Don't know who's starting at quarterback this year. Is it Lucian Anderson III? Is it going to be a transfer? That's a big question that we still don't know quite yet. Those are questions that Eddie George needs to figure out. But also, this is going to be his first year in the MAC. The MAC's a different breed of football, as we all know. It's very different. Sometimes you play midweeks, or sometimes you'll just play on Saturday. He's bringing over his Tennessee State staff, but he's also working with staff members here that he kept that he hasn't worked with before, and he's got to build that chemistry with them. There's just so many new pieces that he has this year.
You hear that?
I think it's going to be difficult.
You know what? I like finishing the point. I gave you 3. I'm going to give you 2 more right now because I like the Maction plug. The Maction plug was very good. Let's give Lucas 5 points. So that puts Lucas at 11, Tyler at 9, Ben at 11, and that will put Holden at 12. Now it's debate time. Tyler, you're dragging behind a little bit. This is where you can get some favor back. And you know what? Let's just hear it. All out brawl. Let's see it.
I liked you copying the 4, 5, 6 wins, by the way, just direct copy of what I said. I appreciate that.
I'm gonna
Bang,
stop
3
you-
for Tyler.
I'm going to stop you all three because you're all saying kind of the same thing, and that's cute and that's fine. But I think you're having a problem with the definition of realistic expectations. It doesn't mean you're 6
We're
wins.
having a
and-
problem with that?
It doesn't mean you're 6 wins and win a bowl game or bust. But it's not a ridiculous thing to say at all that that's something that could happen.
You said to maintain the level that they had this year, right? So
Yeah.
that means we should be competing for a MAC championship appearance in the final game of the year?
I think they could. I'm not saying they will.
No, not could. You said that's what we should expect.
I did not say that's. I said that is not an
Realistic
unrealistic.
expectations.
It is
the
not
question, Holden.
unrealistic to say that.
No, but is it realistic? That's the question.
I think it could be.
Is it or is it not?
Yes. It's
Yes.
realistic to expect
Yeah,
them to
I don't-
compete
I don't
in
think
any
it's
game
With
they
realistic.
play
the
in.
I don't
roster
think it's
turnover,
realistic.
there's absolutely no.
I think, as Lucas said perfectly, with the amount of turnover that you're
no
having
way.
from last year to this year with new staff, I don't think you're going to get above
That's
6
fine,
wins.
but
just
you're
not.
talking about
You're
the
just not.
out-of-conference
You're just
schedule like it's Penn State and A&M, and it's not that.
Well, that's
Liberty
fair.
is
That's
not
fair.
those
That's
teams.
fair.
All right,
That's
boys.
fair.
All right,
That's
boys.
fair.
We're done.
That's
We're
all
done.
fair.
Let's
compete.
tally up these points a little bit. Tyler, I give you 5 points because I liked the feistiness. I liked fighting for what you believed in. You go from 9 to 14. Holden, I'm going to be honest. I liked
that.
what?
Gave him 5 points for that.
Hey,
Well,
he-
you-
he-
whole extra
he
question.
gave
Wait
me-
till I get to you. Wait till I
He
get
gave
to
me
you.
points from action when you didn't say the term, so be lucky.
Okay, so Holden, I want to say I gave you an extra point because I liked you fighting. Ben, you said I agree with Lucas, and that's all you said during this debate. I took 1 away from you. Lucas, you barely said a
That's
word.
more
I took
than
3
Lucas
away
said.
from Lucas. So, what was that?
I said more than Lucas said.
Oh, I
I
know.
also
He's
contributed
the boss,
a
so he gets
decent
the extra
bit.
bonus.
I know
He
you
lost more too. So
Yeah,
it's okay.
he lost
true.
3.
I
He lost 1.
I lost a couple
Was
points.
there a rubric for this?
No, not at all.
Chad.
Speaking of rubric, Tyler didn't even read the email, so he doesn't even know these questions.
That's not true.
Let's go to number 3. Who has been the MVP of the 2024-2025 athletics year? You've got all the sports to choose from. We're in the middle of softball and baseball season. Let's hear what you got, Lucas. You're up first.
It is Trace Terry. And now I understand why you wouldn't think it's Trace Terry. But I'm here to tell you why. Trace Terry, 12 goals, 5 assists, 17 goal contributions, second on the team in both categories. 5 game-winning goals, too, led the team in that category as well. Was an All-American, All-Missouri Valley Conference team, All-Missouri Valley Tournament team, was ranked the 16th player in the country midseason, and was also now ranked the 30th player in the country by postseason. He was the glue of that team this year. He was unbelievable from start to finish. He missed 2 games as well, so he had 17 goal contributions in just 18 games played as well for a team that went all the way to the Missouri Valley Conference Final. And also, I know not well educated in the soccer realm over there, but doing 12 goals and 5 assists in the college soccer season is very, very, very difficult. And he just did unbelievable all season long. He also, I want to make sure I get this right, he finished the season in the top 20 of the nation in 7 different offensive categories. I rest my case. You guys can all bicker amongst yourselves.
Buzzer beater, Lucas Kleinmeyer. I had 4 points for that argument. Take 6 more. You get 10 for this one. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Brought a tear to my eye. You're at 18. Let's hear what you got, Holden. Holden, you're up.
We're not reinventing the wheel here. I'll say it. You can boo. You can boo. It's Harold Fannin Jr. Look at the football team. They didn't have the most success.
Front runner.
They had more success than they've had in previous years, and Harold Fannin Jr. is explicitly the reason why. He rewrote the tight end record book. Single season tight end receiving yards record, receptions record. I mean, he was the entire offense for BGSU, a team that really didn't run the ball very effectively for the majority of the season. And no disrespect, Connor Bazak is not an elite quarterback, and that's the guy you've got thrown to you. And Harold Fannin made play after play out of the backfield, out as a wide receiver, in the slot, blocking in the run game to try and enable it. I mean, you're overthinking it if you think it's anybody but Harold Fannin Jr. I mean, there's a reason that he was a finalist for the Mackey Award. There's a reason that he won the accolades that he did. There's a reason he had the stats that he did, and he's the biggest reason that the team was able to have any of the success they had and even make that bowl appearance. And that's just all there is to it. Any other answer is just trying to be controversial or different.
That was the buzzer. We all heard that buzzer. And you know what? You did a good job filling the time. Last 10 seconds were pad, and you went with a basic argument. Harold Fannin Jr., obvious answer. You go from 3 points to 2 points. You're at 15. Next up, Ben, what do you got?
Yeah, at least Holden chose the best player on the team, except for Chase Terry, who was the second best player on his team.
Not
But
true,
I'll,
but
I'll
okay.
digress. I'll digress. Mine is a little bit of an unorthodox pick. I'm going to say the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, hear me out here. Hear me out here. Last year to this year to next year, Scott Loeffler was going to keep his job. He was going to take a step back. The Philadelphia Eagles saved Derek Vandermeer from having to make a decision and poached Scott Loeffler away. What did that get us? That got us a Heisman winner in Eddie George. Eddie George is
you just found out
now
about.
with the Bowling Green State University Falcons. He has brought notoriety. The Eagles have brought notoriety to Bowling Green, put the Bowling Green Falcon football team on the map of every Ohio State fan in the great state of Ohio and the rest of the United States as well. He brought a ton of recruits that are probably going to come in as well. I mean, the Philadelphia Eagles have really borderline revitalized a BG football team that was going to take a step back and probably continue to be, I mean, we can say it, mid under Scott Loeffler. I mean, I don't think that's too far to say that this is the best year of Scott Loeffler's career. And if Eddie George comes
That's
in
buzzer.
here and wins a Toledo game, so big.
I don't even have to explain myself. You get 9 points. You're at 19, Ben. And you know what time it is? It's time to go to Tyler because I almost skipped you. Okay, Tyler, what do you got?
That feels great here. You guys are overlooking Javante Campbell. This Bowling Green men's basketball team. Wow, that's great response here. This men's basketball team does not get to the MAC tournament without Javante Campbell. He is a guy that battled through more adversity than I think we can say any other athlete here at Bowling Green this season. Played the majority of the MAC schedule with a broken hand that I should remind you, he had to take over as the ball handler. I'm getting to that one, Lucas. Had to take over as the main ball handler midway through the MAC schedule because of Trey Thomas's injury, doing that with a broken hand, and then broke his other hand in the process. When he broke his other hand, 2 broken hands, he scored over 20 points in that game, leading Bowling Green to a win over Ball State. He had at one point 5 straight 20-point performances, led the MAC in steals by 30. He was one of the top stealers in the country, and he was really robbed of the MAC Defensive Player of the Year award. He was the all-around MVP of that men's basketball team and the MVP of this BGSU athletics calendar.
And that's buzzer. Tyler, that was perfect at the buzzer, I do have to say. You're going to get 2 points for that. I also have 5 points written down here, and I know we're probably not going to be able to see this. 5 points for Javante Campbell.
Well, we can see it. We just can't read your handwriting.
Oh, all right, all right.
Chicken scratch.
Javante Campbell gets 5 points. Tyler, yeah, you get 0. I'm sorry. That's the tired debate. But I will say you get 2 points for the buzzer beater. And now it's time for yet another all-out battle. Let's hit it.
How can you say
Listen
when he does not lead the team in categories?
This is
How's
quite
that the
simple.
MVP?
Trace Terry
Because
cannot be the
it's-
MVP because Bennett Painter was plenty productive. You can get offensive production of other guys. Trace Terry was great. Bennett Painter was also great. He's not even definitively the best. The Philadelphia Eagles, the Eddie George impact doesn't matter in 24-25 at all. We're talking about the 24-25 MVP.
Did
That's
it
the
happen
future.
in 2025?
That has nothing to do with this
Did it
season.
happen in 2025?
And if you think the team
Did it
is
happen in
set, do you think that
2025?
if you think
Hold
that the
it,
team
hold it,
is
hold it,
set
hold it,
to
hold it.
regress
Ben, you're
under
talking
Eddie
like a
George?
national pundit over there.
Hang on, hang on.
Calm
If we're
down.
going to keep arguing for a second, look at the points you're fighting for a second. Let's throw these points up. This is what you're fighting for. I need some more fire, guys. Come
All
on.
right, if you
Okay,
think
hey,
the team,
Lucas.
if you think the team is going to regress under Eddie George, a big part of that is the transfers
This
out.
is
You
the
don't
guy
know
that
that you're
thinks he's gonna
losing.
make the MAC championship
You don't
now,
know
so
that they're
I
losing those
can't take
players
that.
if Scott
Long
Loeffler
term-
stays. If you think they're
long
going to
term for
regress,
Bowling-
Lucas.
that
They
has
were gonna
nothing to
lose
do with this
whether
year.
Loeffler's there or not.
What did
Long-term
the,
for Bowling
what did
Green
the Eagles have to
Athletics.
do with this past year?
Long
Nothing.
term for Bowling Green
We're not
Athletics,
talking
this is
long
a
term.
good
We're talking
move.
this year,
It
Ben.
was during this
Lucas,
calendar year.
what
It's
was
not
that?
during the season,
It
Ben.
was during the calendar
It's not
year,
during the
Holden.
season, Ben.
It was during the
It has
calendar
nothing to
year.
do with this year.
And that's
Pat
buzzer.
Cusimano
That's
was nominated
buzzer.
for Player of the Year, not Trace
That's a
Terry.
better argument than Bennett.
Cusimano was nominated, not Trace Terry. How's Trace Terry the MVP? when
We're
he's
getting
not even
double
MVP
buzzer
of
here,
the
guys.
team?
Tyler, they're telling me to pull you off the stage here.
You might have to do that.
Holden, first off, I want to say great argument. You're going to get 5 points for that. You go from 15 to 20, so very good on you. Ben, I was reminded how awesome that Philadelphia Eagles take is. You get 3 more. You get 21. Tyler, they have to pull you off the stage, so I'm going to have to pull off the 2 points I gave you in the last round. You get nothing for this entire round. And Lucas, the fact that you were rage baiting Tyler at the end of it, you guys could see that. Tyler was yelling at Lucas, and Lucas goes,
Well,
and so that's going to be
for those who
plus
didn't know,
2.
there was 2 people yelling across, so
And then you
audio-wise
told-
would have been
Then
kind
you
of a
told me it
nightmare,
was
but, you
valid
know.
take, so thank
all
you
right.
very much.
All right, all right. Well, if you guys want to keep arguing, don't worry. We've got 2 more questions left. I hope you guys are at the edge of your seats. Ben,
Yes.
you are currently leading
Prime.
with 21. Tyler, you haven't moved this round, and Holden and Lucas, the lookalikes, are tied. Let's go into number 4. If you could add one club sport to BGSU's line of revenue sports, what would it be? Tyler, I made you really mad. You get a chance to redeem yourself here. I'll be gracious. I'll give you points. Let's hear it.
I appreciate it, Chaz. This one shouldn't be a question. It is BGSU rugby. The rugby team has a historic resume. At one point, 40 straight MAC championships up until a couple of years ago. That is, I believe, from what I've heard, unheard of in college athletics at any level. To win 40 straight conference titles is ridiculous and insane, and you gotta love their motto. The motto of this rugby team is winning is business, business is good. That would sell at the D1 level. You could make so many t-shirts off of that. Plus, BGSU Rugby already has their own field. You do not need to add another facility for them. They have their own field. They draw decent crowds there. They are a fan favorite here. This is a rugby school. If you talk to anybody in the rugby community, they mention Bowling Green. Even though they're not D1, they are a big player in the rugby sport at the college level. And overall, they are one of the most successful sport programs on this campus, whether they are Division I or just club level. It's BGSU Rugby, and that is the only answer for this argument.
And that's buzzer. Tyler, you've been getting to my weakness. I love a good buzzer beater. 2 more points for you for that one. I've got you scheduled out right now. You've got 8 points. I'm adding 8 points to that. So you got 5 for the argument, 3 for the buzzer beater. That adds 8 to your score. You're currently at quick maths 22. I believe that's right. Yeah, that is right. Next up, let's hear it, Lucas.
Definitely understand the rugby take, definitely understand that. But I'm going with dodgeball because I love dodgeball, and I think who wouldn't want to add dodgeball as a varsity sport? How many programs here have dodgeball as a varsity sport? Because I don't think there's any. That would be a whole lot of fun. One, because, by the way, male and female can both play it. You can make it co-ed or have a male team and a female team. You can turn it to an indoor sport so they can play at the Stroh Center, so plenty of seating. You can get big crowds. But also, the games go by pretty fast depending on how you want to score it or how many players on each side you get eliminated. You could have it indoors, one, but also you can make it like volleyball where you do a best of 5 and the winner of that game wins it. Or you can do like baseball and softball and have double headers or maybe even a triple header. Or you can have a weekend. There's so much versatility you can do with dodgeball that I think would be just a golden opportunity to add as a varsity sport. Because also, too, we've all played dodgeball in gym class growing up. We all loved it. I think it'd be a whole lot of fun, and I think it should be added as a varsity sport.
That was beautiful. And
Would you cry?
buzzer. You know, I would cry. It would have been a lot better if you had actually stretched to fit the entire buzzer, so I'm going to take a point off from that. You got 5 points. You're going to go to 25. Appealing to the childhood wonder of getting hit with one of those balls that makes the, like, poink noise.
Yes, it's a canon event. We've all done it.
Exactly,
We've all done
exactly.
it. It's a canon event.
Somebody who's been hit in the face a lot by a dodgeball. Let's hear Holden. Holden, what do you got?
Well, I'm going to take you through just like a little bit of retrospective into BG athletics.
Boring.
Because back in the day, back in the day, 1970, the lacrosse team, which was a varsity sport historically at the time, the men's team won a national championship. That's a BG claims national championship. And so my answer is not only men's lacrosse, but men's and women's lacrosse, because we have 2 incredibly dedicated groups of athletes here on campus. They play in the Doit, but not during football season, so there's not a conflict there. You wouldn't need to build a new facility. They already function very effectively traveling, state lines, Indiana, Michigan, Kentucky, to compete with these other club programs. And they're plenty successful on their own, too. Most recently, this past weekend, the men's team thumped Ball State by a margin of 18-2. That's significant. This is a program that has buy-in. They're all dedicated. It's easy enough to be, or it's hard enough to be a varsity athlete, let alone supporting yourself as the club athletes have to, getting their field house time when they can, 10 p.m. and after, and still having their full-time schedules. It's lacrosse, hands down.
Buzzer beater. 2 points go to Holden. You've got 7 because I got to be honest, college lacrosse is awesome. How many of you guys have watched college lacrosse? The Maryland Terrapins, they're absolutely unreal. Holden, yeah, you get 7 points. You're at 27. And now, Ben, you were shooting me some dirty looks, and you got to kind of appeal to me here, but you get the last shot.
Yeah.
What's your sport?
Yeah, I am frankly flabbergasted that nobody else took this pick. I think you're all playing hockey with a work puck because it is BGSU club women's hockey. Arguably the most famous club sport that we have at Bowling Green, I would say. Maybe not the most successful, but the most famous. You have a built-in hockey fan base to Bowling Green. I'd say Hockey Town, aside from Detroit up there in Michigan. You have built-in fans. You have a built-in arena that is the standard size that you don't have to make any changes for. You have 5,000 capacity in the seats. You have a team that's already pretty well put together, a pretty decent female hockey state in Ohio. You have a NHL team just a little bit up north and a little bit south in Columbus as well. I mean, and it's just not a very big sport. You'd be able to pull in recruits. And Lucas, I always complain about this. Hockey kind of gets screwed with the amount of like students that are able to show up to games, and they're like when they have home games and whatnot. When men's hockey's away, women's hockey can be home. Then you have hockey every weekend for these fans that are starving for more hockey in Bowling Green. I think it is a fantastic option to have in a women's hockey team here in Bowling Green.
There it is. That's the buzzer. Sorry, I didn't want to put the finger up on you, but
You're
I got to
not great at
say
these buzzers.
that's you.
Well, it's easy when you get to look at the numbers counting down, which
Oh,
I
you
have.
can
well,
too.
can you not hear
No,
the
I
buzzer?
can't,
Get your
'cause I have
ears
to look
checked.
at
Get
you.
your ears
That's not
checked.
true. You just look over there.
Okay,
No,
Ben,
you're
you got
cheating.
25 points. I added 5 to your score because I added 4, not 5. Because, I mean, I like the argument, but hockey guy's going to be a hockey guy, and that's just a little boring at the end of the day. So let's see those scores. Ben, you're at 25. Lucas, you're tied with him at 25. And then we've got Holden at 27 in the lead. Tyler, you're crawling back at 22. This is the second to last debate time. Music to my ears. Let's hear you guys whining.
Holden, you ever consider why the lacrosse team was taken off of D1 level?
Go ahead.
Well, have you ever considered, as I'm asking?
I think there's plenty of reasons, but times change, and when you have a university that's trending upwards and having a lot of success
How
across
much money?
programs,
How much money will lacrosse generate for this?
You don't
university?
even know that.
you don't even know that.
But do you know?
He might have the stats.
Does that matter?
Do you know?
That's not
though?
the question, Tyler.
It does matter though, because that is the state of college athletics. It is a money business. Now, we are the
Tyler
minor
does
leagues
bring
for
up,
pro
He brings up a
sports.
good point, but I do like it because Mickey Cochran, who's a godfather of men's soccer, also created men's
true.
lacrosse as well.
Very
So I do
good
like that
point.
shot as well. I think all
There's
pretty good
also
shots.
overlap in like former football coaching
Yes.
and lacrosse as well. There's continuity.
It is.
And again, there's a legacy. There's a national championship at the varsity level, which none of these other sports
Yeah.
here can claim.
Except
And again,
hockey.
like my
Well,
like my
Ben,
argument
for
is
women's
just-
hockey, you
hockey.
cannot
Women's.
claim that women's hockey is more popular than rugby. If you
Yes,
talk,
I can.
How?
he just
Name
did.
a powerhouse in D1 men's rugby.
Can you
And
name
I hear silence. I can
No,
name at least
Louisville.
3 or 4 in
Louisville.
women's.
Louisville beat
Name
BG.
another one.
I am glad we're not talking
And that
about
was also
Lucas's
club.
pick.
Dodgeball's great.
Well,
And that's
if
gonna
you
be the
know,
buzzer.
nobody
Pick.
knows about
That's gonna
women's
be the
hockey.
buzzer.
Club women's hockey on
Yes,
campus.
they do.
Nobody
Guys,
knows about
Yeah,
it.
but you know D1,
Tyler,
that's what we're
Tyler,
talking about.
Nobody
let's cut
knows
it-
about
Hey.
women's club hockey here.
Double
though.
buzzer. There we go. Double buzzer. Tyler, I mean, I'm trying to help you out, man, but every time you just tear yourself down, you're going back to 14. You did so much good work. Go 22 to 14. Bring it back to 14. I'm sick of
Ow.
this. Everybody else's points stay the same except for Ben. I like whatever point you had. I kind of forgot it, but I gave you 3 points. You're at
Hello?
28. Rest of the points are going to stay the same. And now we're going into our final round, and where none of the points matter. I'm in charge, and everybody's going to be mad at me later. Look at that beautiful 14 for the Tyler Kevelitz. What sport had the most disappointing season? Oh, buddy, I'm so excited for this one. Ben, what do you got?
Guess who? Men's basketball barely snuck into the MAC tournament. In my opinion, didn't deserve to get into the MAC tournament. They made it on a last-second miracle shot in double overtime by NIU to put Central Michigan back down to earth. I mean, this team barely deserved to make it, and I will say that it was mainly due to injuries. They had injuries to Yosef Kayet, also to Sam Towns, which kind of derailed their season a little bit. I think with the starting lineup that they had, they underperformed. They really did, even with the healthy starting lineup. I mean, they really didn't deserve to get in. You had a chance in the final game against Western Michigan to be able to put yourself in, a win, and go to the MAC tournament. You lost the game. You didn't deserve to get in, and to not make a MAC tournament after making a MAC tournament and winning a game, that is a unsuccessful season for Todd Simon. And now he's losing a decent amount of the players and a decent amount of the talent. Marcus Johnson's in the transfer portal. Javante Campbell in the transfer portal. Braylon Green already left the team for another MAC school that was also mid. I mean, you're talking about a bunch of players that are leaving
Buzzer.
for a team that was barely good.
You know, Ben, you've been consistently getting threes. I'm going to give you 3 again. You're at 31. Tyler, defend your honor here because this is make or break for you. I'm going to be honest. You're at 14. Give me the best argument you possibly can muster.
1, Ben still can't hit a buzzer. 2, you can't say this team did not deserve to make the MAC tournament. They won 7 of their last 10 games, won the last 4 road games. They were the 3rd best MAC team down the stretch in conference play, second half of conference play. They finished with the 2nd best scoring defense in the MAC. Those are all facts. You cannot deny them. They were also
this
the
the
most
debate
injured team
segment?
in the
Is your
MAC.
pick? Is
You
this the
cannot
debate
deny them.
segment?
I'm getting to it.
He's
He wants
wasting
me to
time,
defend.
don't
I'm
worry. He's
listening to him.
wasting time.
The most disappointing is women's basketball. They regressed in standings-wise from last year. They were expected to take a jump and be one of the top players in the conference. They were predicted 4th. You said it in your own argument earlier. And they currently have more transfers in the portal than men's basketball does. You want to harp on men's basketball transfer entries. Women's basketball has more. That's an invalid argument if you're going to go there, because you look at women's basketball, they have a top player also in Lexi Fleming, who is not only a top player, but a key part of this community. She is Bowling Green when it comes to women's basketball. You don't have that with men's basketball, who are just one-year people, and this is also why Fred Shamil is on the hot seat. They both go together.
You try to do the buzzer beater there, and I got a lot
Better
of
than
points.
Ben.
That was better than Ben. I got a lot of points
Worst
to break down
argument,
for you.
though, so probably lost points for that.
Well, okay, Ben, I have horrible news. So the rip you got at Ben at the beginning, that's going to get you 7 points. Then the facts you provided right after that, that's 5 points. Women's basketball, that's going to be 1 point, so that brings you to 13.
No, it's 1
then
point
when you
for
said
that.
Lexi Fleming was the heart of Bowling Green, you were right. You're at 16 points. 2 for the Fred Shamil hot seat, because I like a good callback. That's, I believe, 18. But then you missed the buzzer beater, so I'm going to take 1 off. So you add 17 points to 14. That's 31. You're tied with Ben. Next up, let's hear what you got, Lucas.
Okay, to me, it's pretty easily, and I hear both arguments. It's BGSU football. I mean, the expectations, this was the make or break year for Scott Leffler's last year. This was the year to, one, win a bowl game or contend for the MAC championship, get to at least the MAC championship game, or even win it. We didn't do that this year. We finished with the same exact record we did the year prior and lost to Arkansas State in the bowl game again. When you look at the season as a whole, we did not do anything different. Yeah, we beat Toledo and we didn't beat them last season. That's great, and Scott Leffler did a good job beating Toledo, having a 3-3 record, but then you lose to Old Dominion on homecoming. So then how do you kind of judge how he did this past season? In my opinion, it wasn't great. It was disappointing. You wasted a historic season from Harold Fannin Jr. In my opinion, the best tight end in the country. He should have won the Mackey Award. And what did we get? We got nothing. We lost to Miami in a game that if we would have won, would have booked our spot in the MAC championship game. Didn't do it. And like I mentioned, we lost the bowl game again. So realistically, what did we do? We didn't get any better. And if anything, we just kind of regressed or kind of just sidestepped. It just wasn't good enough. And for me,
Buzzer.
yeah.
That was a really good argument. I did like it. I think the fact that we had a player like Harold Fannin and still weren't able to get the job done, one of the best players in the MAC for sure. Oh, the best player, I'd argue. I think that's a good argument. I gave you 4 points. That brings you to 29. You're 2 behind both Ben and Tyler, but we got the debate. Holden, I hear you got a gem just ready to rip.
I hate to not argue, but I actually am on the same page as Lucas here, and it's football, but it goes much deeper than just we wasted Harold Fannin and it's Scott Leffler's, 3rd consecutive year making a bowl game and you sell that. That's fine. But it's gut punch after gut punch after gut punch. You lead Penn State at the half and you outchoke James Franklin. You're the quarterback whisperer, Scott Leffler, and you've got a quarterback who's been playing since 1970 in Connor Baslack, and he throws clutch interception not once but twice to lose to Texas A&M in that 4th quarter. You try to redeem yourself on homecoming against a winless Old Dominion team, you choke that. Have the chance to control your own destiny against NIU, who's hot after beating Notre Dame, you choke that. You come out and stomp on Western Michigan, leading the MAC, and then you choke against Miami, even after beating Toledo, and you choke away your bowl game with 2 fake punts, one of which was awesome, one of which didn't work. And you got nothing to show for it, and your coach goes to hide behind Nick Sirianni. I mean, that's an absolute disappointment on really every level, given the historic nature of both what Harold Fannin Jr. was able to do and the track record leading into this season.
And there is the buzzer. Tried to lead it, tried to appease. Nah, it didn't end up working. I'm going to take 2 points away. You do get 7 for the argument, though, so I'm going to take 2. That's 5. You go from 27 plus 5, quick maths. Ben, you're a math guy. What's 27
No, I'm
plus
not.
5?
It's 32
Proven on
shares.
BJC Hockey
Thank you.
broadcast, not a math guy, Ben Korek.
Wow, a lot of callbacks. Here are the point totals. Holden is in the lead with 1. It's a very tight race. Tyler and Ben are both tied at 31. And Lucas, you are in last place.
Yeah.
It's debate time. We've got a lot.
I did enjoy Tyler spending the first 20 seconds of his argument just arguing against Ben instead
I'm
of giving
listening
his
to our host.
answer.
Our host
so he
told me
totally
to.
just ran up the clock at the entire
Tyler,
time.
I have a question. I have a question.
Then I
Did
have a
men's
question,
basketball not have a worse season than women's basketball? Did they
Well,
not finish with a worse record? Did they not lose the final
They
game of the
did,
season?
but they had more challenges
Did they
than
not
women's basketball.
barely-
Women's basketball had a clean-cut
Were
way.
those
They
not-
didn't.
Gentlemen,
Women's
both
Were they not a
basketball didn't
bad
face many
put-together
injuries.
team considering they were not
teams
deep
Women's
enough?
choked in the
basketball
tournament.
didn't
Who
face
cares?
injuries.
Both
Yeah, they
teams
did.
choked in the
Holden
tournament.
Lucas.
Football,
They did mid-season
Who would you
injuries.
rather have as head coach of BG football, Scott Leffler or Eddie George?
That has nothing to do with the
I
disappointing
don't know
season.
yet because I haven't seen any
Last
Georgia
season
Nationals.
So
was
you're
more
not answering.
disappointing.
Can I get
Can
an
we
answer?
just talk about
You're
how
moving.
Tyler
You're
scapegoated my
forgetting what
argument?
just
Yes, he
happened.
did.
We're talking about
I
this
can't get an
season.
answer.
This
Can we talk
season
about that?
was a
You're also
disappointment.
denying Ryan, you're saying they shouldn't have made the MAC tournament, which is crazy.
Yeah,
when
they
they were
shouldn't
the
have. They
third
shouldn't have.
best team.
They
were
lost
the
the team
third
that
best
could've
team
put you
in the
in.
conference
It
in
doesn't
the second
matter.
half of MAC play.
They
The
lost
third
the
best
game
team
that
in the
would have put you in.
conference.
None of those games
7
mattered
out of
because
the
you
last
lost that
10,
last
last
game,
4
Tyler.
road games. No one else in the
Tyler.
conference
Football
did that.
had the
And you
best
lost the
player of
last
any
game.
of those teams
And
in
you
the
lost
worst
the last
season.
game.
And
And you
that's
lost
the
So did
buzzer.
women's basketball, too.
And you lost the last
And
game.
that is the buzzer. So we're going to have the grand reveal here. But before I do give the reveal, I want to say thank you to all you guys for joining us. I can tell you're just on the edge of your seats right now. I mean, the vein's about to pop out of Tyler's head, and I'm in the splash zone for that one. So I will start with our last place. With 31 points, unmoving in last place. I hate to say he's my buddy. He is my baseball beat. Tyler Kavelitz with 31 points.
That's a crime.
He got 4th place. It was more so because your arguments, you were more fighting off Ben, which is me completely rage baiting you.
Reason, Ben finally decided to get in an argument for the last answer,
This ain't about that
after
sport.
hiding
This
down
ain't
the
about
last
that
4,
sport.
so- No,
I
I'm just
changed my
saying.
mind. Tyler, you get 3 points. You're at 34. Because I just think this is hilarious. So actual last place is Holden with 32. Hate to say it. Sorry, Holden.
Sorry.
And now I'm also going to add, because I added 2 points to Tyler's, it doesn't matter. I'm going to add 2 points to you guys' too. So the winner is actually going to end up being Ben. Ben, at the end of that debate period, I gave you 36 points. Because, I mean, why not? Lucas, you got 35, and Tyler, you didn't get last place.
I love how Ben, though, gets first place when he decides to debate in one of the debates. That's entertaining.
Hey, Todd, the debate section's over. It's done.
I'm just saying. I'm just pointing out.
It's done.
Just pointing out the facts.
As-
He has struggles letting things go, if you can't tell.
Okay, listen.
you're Mr. Diamond
On the
Hill,
next
Big
episode of the
Quack,
Swoop Around, everybody here gets couples therapy. But with that said, I want to say thank you to all you guys. These are the final point totals. Very good, well-rounded battle. It's a very good filler for the Swoop. I hope you had fun watching as much as I had fun producing, or not producing, just hosting, because all the producers over there are going to beat me after I said I produced, because I didn't do any of this. But I want to say thank you to all of you guys. Have a phenomenal rest of your day, and be sure to swoop in next time right here on the Swoop Around.